watching the brand new Rose of Versailles movie felt like sitting through a 2-hour-long teaser trailer. Wait, I got another one.
Great gowns, beautiful gowns.
Oh my god, this is not me roasting the movie. Okay. Well, maybe not for the entirety of the video. Alright, let me just put a disclaimer before someone drags me to the guillotine. I did enjoy my time with this movie. But before I tell you all of my thoughts, what you need to know is that I can't get the TV anime out of my head. I watched it just recently. It's very fresh in my mind. There's a whole series of videos of me completely losing it over that show. I loved it. It would be super cool to hear from someone whose first experience with the Rose of Versailles is this movie. But yeah, that's not me. I'll be honest, I might not have come into this with the most open mind. I'm biased, but I absolutely came in with an open heart. And to be fair, there were moments, elements that were so impressive, they actually made me forget about the TV anime for like a second. And then there were other things that just made me long for the classic, like the music. Oh, this gonna be controversial. Controversy. And part of it is really subjective, you know, matter taste. Some of these songs might even be growers. I don't know. Personally, I liked the song Versailles the most. The rest kind of just blended into each other for me. Oh, except whenever Marie sings. That woman's vocals.
Slay!
I mean, vocals in general, like slay. But the songs themselves, like the melodies, I don't know. I found them forgettable, especially having the classics OST in mind. Some of those songs, the instrumental songs, they were like earworms, like eating my brain out. Yasashi Sano Okurimona. I might be butchering the name of this song, but like it changed my life, okay? Taste is involved for sure. And it's not really a fair comparison, a TV series and a movie, a musical at that. Still, I think the classic OST was more successful in creating impact and elevating the show. Now, this is what we can actually talk about, how the music is used. There's this one very important scene in the movie that I believe was ruined by the use of music. Why would you keep playing that upbeat song while Girlie is being shot to death? I don't get it. Alright, I've talked about this before in the series. Oscar's death is not unexpected, yet when the time came, I felt my heart drop. The music was cut silence, except for some bells, like sound effects. The moment was so intense, like breathtaking. In the movie though, the music doesn't really let you breathe, which is technically also breathtaking. Huh? Like no, it's stifling. It doesn't give you room to feel the blow. It's like there's no blow. Yeah. It lacks impact is what I'm trying to say. Now let's set aside the question of how being a musical serves this movie in terms of plot and character. We'll get to that later and talk about an aspect that did hit hard. Something that said impact in all caps. Voice acting. The voice actors, they delivered. They left no room for me to even remember the voices from the TV anime. And that's a huge thing for me to say because I had such an emotional connection with those voices. 40 episodes, right? You bond. But maybe all it really took was Marie's voice in the movie. You know that song that goes, Nani ga suki? Oh my god. The third girl, right? She's my bias. Deep-voiced women, you are not safe around me. And don't even get me started on Oscar. On Andre, both were killing it. Okay, confession time. When I first saw the trailer, I wasn't sold on Andre's voice. I thought it was nice, but like... Because to me, Andre in the TV anime, he was perfect. There was always just the right amount of emotion or lack thereof. This mischievous tone, those was just doing things, okay? And I still might lean toward classic Andre overall, but modern Andre, he came through, especially in that final part, his death scene. The man carried that moment with his delivery. I tear up just thinking about it, like, Now, I wasn't completely satisfied with modern Andre overall, but that's not on the voice acting. The problems are elsewhere. So the VAs handled these characters beautifully. They elevated the whole thing. The screenwriters, however, they didn't, if you ask me. Character and plot are areas where comparing the TV anime and the movie is downright silly. And yet, well, this is This isn't a comparison, really. It's just what I felt. I missed the visual storytelling. I missed getting to know the characters through different techniques. Subtle, indirect, gradual. I missed being conflicted, trying to figure out their feelings, their intentions, and then realizing, yeah, that's how it should be. Because people are complicated, messy, full of contradictions. I missed all the loud silences. And of course, in just 2 hours, there was no room for any of that. The movie seriously suffers from the lack of time. The characters end up one-dimensional. Moments that would probably hit harder given more time just fall flat. There's too much inner monologue, and the musical scenes are very hit or miss when it comes to actually moving the story forward and developing the characters. And technicalities aside, certain themes are lost, like the dark side of the revolution, which I guess works if you gravitate more towards the inspirational rather than the tragic. But you know what? Time constraints do have their perks too. All the toxic men are either just gone, sont juste, or they're fluffy now. Silly Jirardel had no business becoming such a, not sexist gentleman. And it could be Takuyaguchi too, that voice.
Mademoiselle, なぜ 温かい暖炉や優しい窓に背を向けるのです。
Never mind.
Bombastic side eye.
And Papa Jarge, he doesn't even get the time to resort to violence. That's kind of great. But I don't know which one is worse. Andre assaulting Oscar or him trying to murder her. No, but there were moments I thought were done really nicely. The scene where the love triangle... The love triangle of doom was formed. Some sass was going on. I like that. Then there was Rosalie's cameo. I like the fact that the kid survived, that the people were just not having it, though their rage was totally misdirected. The face-off with Alan was dope. Oh, and this thing for sure. Yeah, no, I mean, her speech was powerful, of course. They did a good job showing and developing her bond with the fellas. With Bastille, though, the bed scene was one of those scenes that could have had more impact if there'd been more build-up. You know what? It was alright. It was cute. Her being all awkward, bringing it up, and him just being over-dramatic. But them singing... Alright, yeah, it's a musical. Of course they were gonna sing, but I wish they didn't. No, it was alright. Okay, it was fine. If anything, it was an actual bed scene. Not a wood scene, Oh my god. Now, the final part of the movie I thought was great. The 13th of July. The 14th, I still prefer the series. Oscar's first night of loneliness. Her crying one last time in a back alley before going out to make history.
That was so powerful.
But yeah, the 13th in the movie looked a lot more purposeful and organized than it did in the series. I know I'm not talking about Andre's death actually having a purpose here, which I hear is more manga accurate. I can totally live with a meaningless death. I've watched Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I'm fine.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
But yeah, it was all very confusing there in the series. For the most part, Oscar and the dudes were riding and getting shot for no reason. When Andre was shot, she was just charging ahead. I don't know. It felt like the troop had a whole lot of casualties without really doing much. Now, I just mentioned the manga after trying to steer clear of it in this video. I haven't read it, okay? So I wouldn't know. It would be nice to hear from the manga readers. But one thing that I can clearly see is the visuals being very faithful to the source. I never realized how different the TV anime was from the manga before I saw the trailers for this movie. Yeah, it's a gilded dream. It's brilliant visually. That much was expected from the studio, but of course I've got things to nag about, of course. First of all, not them adding another show to my list of I wish there would be a remake. I want this art in a series. Make it as long as you need. Stay as faithful as you want to the source. Because it seems a classic is taking its liberties. Brotherhood the whole thing, sisterhooded, I don't know, but give me more. And second of all, this is a ridiculous complaint. I know, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The characters look small. They all look like teenagers, even at the point where they're supposed to be 30-something. Girl, I need them broad shoulders, okay? You guys, there was this scene in the show. Papa Jarge is like, yo, Andre, go with Oscar to this ball. We're gonna show them bitches how beautiful my daughter is. Then she turns around And sure, she's the most beautiful son anyone could have. Oh my god, no. Girlies come in all shapes and sizes, okay? Just that here we like them big. So in the end, the Rose of Versailles movie had its highs and lows. The visuals were stunning, the voice acting brought a fresh energy, but when it comes to plot and character, the 2-hour runtime really held it back. I don't know how well it stands on its own, especially for new viewers, but for those who've watched the series, like myself, it's a bit of a mixed bag. There's enough to appreciate, but it doesn't quite fill the same emotional space, you know? It's a beautiful, imperfect retelling, worth watching, even if you're not exactly sure how it fits into the larger legacy of the Rose of Versailles. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments and see you next time.